In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. And today we have distinguished guest with us, Depesh Mandalia, with a wealth of experience spanning over 20 years in marketing and entrepreneurship. Depesh has been a leading figure in helping brands harness the power of Facebook ads and AI to drive substantial results. He is the founder of an ad agency and has coached numerous clients and communities using his unique BPM method, which has generated over $100 million in global revenue for e-com and digital products. Depesh, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, that's good. My first question is, have you started building some apps for soccer coaches?
Well, I did actually. I built my own GPT inside of ChatGPT because at that time, I think maybe a year and a half ago, I was coaching my daughter's U17 team plus my son's U10 or U11. So I needed a number of different drills, and especially with the U17 team, I needed to adapt to what they needed there and then. Like the U10s is a bit more simpler. So I put lots of kind of training techniques and ideas and stuff into the GPT. And then if I needed to come up with a training plan, then I just ask and it would give me 3 or 4 ideas, which was really handy.
I love it. The custom GPTs, I think, are one of the most overlooked things for people just starting to use AI. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's like, it's a great starting point to think about productivity. So like there's so many different levels to AI. The first one is ChatGPT. Like it's most people's gateway drug into the world of AI. And a lot of people just stop there. I'd probably say 90% or more people just stop there and they think that's all there is. But GPTs, I think, enhance that by just allowing you to create bounded projects. So like, for example, I think one of my first GPTs was actually a family meal planner. So we have 5 children. We've got multiple allergies and things like that. So coming up with a meal plan is not easy, right? So I just put that into the GPT and I uploaded a spreadsheet of all the foods we like, plus who's got what allergy.
Yeah.
Literally just outsource the thinking. And it's just so good.
I love it. I think the custom GPT and then Notebook LM is the other one that I think is a superpower, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I love it. That's a cool way to do it. I got to actually build one of those for myself. And Thad, who you know, he's built I think at Base 44 he built a tool that was all the old recipes from the family, and so he's keeping them alive that way, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about Facebook ads and where you're at with pay-per-click advertising, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook's changed so much and it keeps changing. So one of the cool things, in fact, it's a coincidence that we're speaking today. I just launched a new AI app. So going back maybe 12 or so months, Meta announced this thing called Andromeda. So the idea is the algorithm changes and it tries to favor more ads in a particular ad set. So an ad set's used for targeting, but ads that are very varied. So some ads might be talking about pain, some might be opportunities, some might be testimonials, some might be founder-based. And I looked at this and I wrote a guide on this, like launched it maybe 2-3 weeks ago, the Ultimate Andromeda Guide, which tells people what it is and how it works. But then I went to AI and said, what if I built an app around this? And that was basically my Christmas holiday period, just building this app. We launched it today as an alpha release. And honestly, is probably the best app I've ever created. So the way it works is,
what's the link? How do we find it?
It's gone out to alpha testers, so it's not public yet. So we've gone into the first phase of testing. And the concept is quite interesting. If you remember the Rubik's Cube, you got 6 faces in multiple colors. What came to my mind was using a Rubik's Cube to jumble up different ad angles and different ways to talk to your prospects, and being able to kick out ad creatives based on that. And that's basically what this does. And you go through the process. It creates a cube. You can mix it, which means it's mixing all your ads and things like that. Then once you've found a face of the cube that you like, you can then get those ads published. So it takes away the thinking process of, all right, what is Andromeda? Forget what is Andromeda. Just get the ads out there and go and test. Because I think a lot of people get caught up into all these technicalities. And my goal with AI, especially with advertising, is moving people away from training courses and watching videos and things like that to just click, 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 and just do. So don't worry about Andromeda. Just follow this process, go publish the ads and see the results.
I think that's an interesting thing that we're noticing this drift that's happening away from what you're saying, trainings and ebooks and those sorts of things, and it's more into these frameworks, right? And it's like, follow these steps, and then you should get the outcomes that I've been able to get for myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of it is like with AI, especially right now, something like if you look at AI development, so where ChatGPT is like the start level for a lot of people, AI development, a lot of it is just a wrapper for something you do on ChatGPT.
Sure.
And maybe something you do on Zapier or Make or anything like that. So like that's the first level, but there's so many levels beyond that as well. So for example, with our app, not only does it do the things you could probably do in ChatGPT, so create my avatar, write my ads, help me find targets and things like that, it also constructs it in a way that can automatically publish it to your ad account. And you could literally jump into this app within maybe 3 or 4 minutes. You'd have 10 to 50 ads ready to publish, and you don't really need to know much about advertising to do so. And I think that's the opportunity now. If you're thinking about creating an app, is how do you take the fear and anxiety out of having to learn something new, and how do you just make it so seamless that, like, one of my pitches to this kind of alpha group of testers that we've got is, this app is so easy my kids can use it, and my kids know nothing about ads, and they have no interest in what I do, but it's just so bulletproof that anyone can kind of use it.
Yeah, that prompt of simple enough for a 10-year-old to do
exactly.
It, right? Yeah. No, I love it. Now, are you a coder by training?
So actually, when I was at university back in late 90s, I'm dating myself, I did actually do some coding, and back then it was just some basic stuff because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So just learning things like Java and C++ and HTML. Didn't really do anything with it. I became a project manager in 2003, fell into marketing and online marketing in 2005. So I had that kind of construct of how to code, even though I didn't know how to code, and I couldn't code any of what I'm doing. And I think the advantage that gives me is I have structure in the way I speak to these AI apps to develop the code for me. So all the apps I've developed have been done either by Lovable or Replit. They're my 2 go-to apps. And I think what makes them so good is I have that structured mind of, like, I'm not going to just tell it what I want, but I'm going to go back and forth and jam on the actual requirements before telling it to go and code. And I think that just creates something that's a lot more robust.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because those are the tools I use also. And I think I've built about 40 different apps now, some of which internal for my team, and some that I'm working to commercialize, and some that were one-offs for clients. And a lot of times I'll go into my custom GPT, that's my Emmanuel Rose GPT, and I'll talk to it first, and then ask it to then create a prompt for Replit from chat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of these apps just come out of problems that we have, right? So back in, I think maybe 6 or 8 months ago, we were with Active Campaign, and our plan was like $2K a month plan for whatever we had in there. We had a discount down to $1,200 because we said we're going to leave because it's so expensive. But it was not only expensive, it was getting clunky. We're getting lots of errors and things like that. I decided to move away from Active Campaign, and I said, I want the full list of my customers. I want all of their attributes and tags and things like that. And they said, we can't do that. And I can't remember the exact reason for it. They said, you have to go in and download CSVs, but the CSVs are like 1,000 at a time. I said, I'm not going to sit here doing 18 CSVs. Or I think it was like 30 CSVs, 30K contacts. So then I went into ChatGPT and I said, is there a way I could connect to the API and pull
Right.
out all this stuff? And he said, yeah, here's how you do it. Then I went into, I think, Lovable, and I said, here's what I want. And I'd already spoken to ChatGPT. I say speak,
Yeah.
but typing.
Yeah.
Pasted that into Lovable, and it actually created this little app where I had to get an API key, connected to ActiveCampaign, and pulled all of my contact information, far more than I would have got through CSVs, and put it in my own database. Like,
Yeah.
just that itself. And I actually thought about publishing that as an app. Like, how many people out there would be wanting to get their data? You could charge $10, $50 a pop to just use it. But like those kind of app ideas, you're fixing a problem that exists in the world that maybe someone doesn't know can be fixed.
Yeah, and even to the point where if you were really excited, you would write your own email outbound software.
Well, I did
right?
that as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Yeah, so we have the ability to develop mega custom apps for absolutely every part of our work processes now, which are remarkable.
Absolutely.
And my goal for 26 is to do services software, which everything that I do in a day I'm going to either softwareize or agentify, so that I get to choose what work I do. I don't have to do work.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things, so you talk about, create your own email app. I built my whole full-blown lead management system, email app, campaign management, CRM, and sales pipelining app, all through Replit. And that, it started with just, I want my data from ActiveCampaign, to now having a full-blown system. And not only that, it's giving me things that I don't think are even on the market. So if you imagine all of your data from lead gen to your website data, to your CRM, to your sales pipeline, all that, that's now in a single database. And I've built an MCP layer on top. So multiple context protocol. I can't remember what it is. But basically what happens is I now have an AI chatbot within the app that can read all of that data and answer any question I have. So again, that negates a role, which is someone who's analyzing, running spreadsheets, doing analysis, and saying, hey, there's a really cool idea here. This segment is doing this. I can instantly see who are my VIPs. I can see who are the hot prospects, i.e. they're interacting with my emails, they're visiting my website, they've downloaded Lead Magnet. All of that is now in one place.
Yeah.
And the AI is actually giving me eyes on the data, which gives me things that I wouldn't even think of. So I can just say, give me 5 interesting insights based on this lead magnet or these customers, and it will go in and look at the data and tell me what's going on.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then it opens up this whole new space of opportunity for you to be able to then generate business with those situations. Yeah. Well, so you built a tool that's specifically for Facebook ads for Andromeda. Do you think there's going to be a tool where I can just go and say, here's my $100 a day, go and figure this out. Here's my landing page, generate my ads and get started?
So there's 2 parts there. One is, I think Meta are trying to build that. They bought Manus for a couple of billion. So Manus AI, I think, has the full capability of doing that. In fact, roughly at this point last year, I was actually playing with Manus to go in and log into my ads manager and go and do stuff. So it was doing that until Meta blocked it. So Meta must be knowing that people are doing this anyway. But it has the capability of doing that. Like Manus has this agent system inside that can chain lots of processes together. So I think that is coming, whether it's done by Meta or by a third party. We're already looking at that right now. So as with the Meta app, like we did with the CRM, we have an MCP built in. So that enables a couple of things. Number one, it can look at all of your data in your ad account. And then number two, I can add my own frameworks and methodologies and things like that. So it can execute things for you as well. So if you say, for example, here's $100, create a test plan, here's the website, go and create ads. It could create your campaign. It will do all the research. It will do your targeting, create your ads, pulling creatives, whatever it is. It could literally have a launch ready, campaign ready for you. Like that's doable right now. The challenge is making sure that the quality is good enough. Like at the end of the day, if I'm going to be developing an app that could spend your money, then I better make sure it works, because I don't want to get sued because someone put £1,000 in or dollars in and they kind of spent it straight away.
Yeah. So the part about human in the loop is still
100%.
critical critical activity. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, so how long is your alpha group going to test it before you move into more commercialization of this?
I think we're planning to launch it Wednesday. So this is an existing app. So
Yep.
here's how it developed. Back in 22, when ChatGPT kind of took off, I was deep into it, trying to figure out how to use it. In 2023, I actually developed an app by using AI to write the code and then putting the code into a WordPress plugin. So that was my first kind of Facebook ads app. It was clunky, it was difficult to manage, and we ended up canning it after I had to bring a developer in. It got really expensive to run it.
Yep.
Then Lovable came out. And I then took that idea into Lovable. So this app's been live for about, I think, last summer. So 6 months, 7 months now. And it's done well. But how I was looking at it was, here's a module where you can create an avatar. Here's a module where you can write copy. Here's a module where you can upload it to Meta. And this kind of cube idea now is putting that into one single stream, like one process. So now with this kind of new process, it will do all the research. It will create your angles and your hooks. It will write the ad copy, allow you to add creative, and then publish it all in one go.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to look at where the market is you don't need all these different areas where you can do one thing at a time. People want to do everything all at once, right? So
sure.
your idea of here's $100, go and do something. So that's kind of where this app's now going, is this idea of having an operator. The operator can look at your data, tell you what to do next. Like, I run an ads community, and often the question that comes up is, I've launched my ads, what do I do next? How do I interpret this data? What do I do with click-through rate? How do I get more profit? The operator will do that thinking for you because it's got my knowledge built into it. So it's almost as good as having me there. At some point, it'd be better than having me there. So like, the operator can tell you what to do, and at some point will do it for you as well.
Yeah, I like that. I did a similar thing where I start with the ICP and then the customer journey, and then it builds all the content for the ICP on that journey.
Exactly.
And then it crawls out, pulls back the CEOs, and then starts that process. So a similar idea is what you're describing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's the thing where it's like, you don't want to go and build an ICP and then take that and then put it into the customer journey app, right? It was just one big stream of activity with an output that I can review and then turn it loose on the world.
Absolutely. And we've got about 15 or 16 modules within this app. Now I think we've got it down to 2. One is this kind of infinite ad engine, as we call it, which can just create ads within 5 minutes and create 50 ads for you. And the other one's the operator. Like, that's all you need.
Yep. And like you said, it has the IP from your experience of the last 15 years that's embedded in it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's something to think about. Like, when you look at an app idea and you look at, well, the idea is already out there, other people are doing it. What's your moat? What can you put as your stamp and your identity on this app that makes it harder to copy? So like, someone can log into my app and look at how it works and they could mimic how it works. Absolutely, it's easy. But the logic and everything behind it, that's not going to be easy to hack.
Right. Yeah. The custom GPT that you've created, right?
Yeah. In the background, there's loads of logic that goes into it.
Absolutely. The underpinning philosophy and your experience and the KPIs that that are important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, that's exciting. I think that's cool. So your go-to-market strategy is going to be around your user group first, and then the big world.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's one of the things that I've been looking a lot more at is the viral marketing plans for Lovable and Manus. I think both of those have been really, really good. What Lovable did really well was to have a free user tier that got you just enough to make you pay. Like, that's how they got me. That's how they got loads of people. So that's one thing we're looking at. The second one is Manus. What they did really well was to allow you to share your activity to external users. So people could see how good the things were that you were doing without having to become a user. So we're actually going to integrate both of those things. So when you create these kind of ad engines and these Rubik cubes, you can share them online and someone can just see that you see your creation. And obviously we'll use that to try and bring more people into the app and kind of use viral loops and things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'll be interested to see that, and hopefully you can. Well, just stay in touch with your website. Is that the idea, or how do we stay in touch with it?
AdSignals is the app name, so it's
Okay.
adsignals.bpmmethod.com at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that cube should be there by Wednesday. I mean, it works. I've been testing it all weekend long, so it should flow into live pretty quickly.
I love it. And then, did you bring in some developers to help harden it, or did you do all that
Nothing
yourself?
at all. I've just done it all with this one's done with Lovable, so it's literally just me, Lovable, and I think it's taken about 2 weeks and probably cost me about $400 of AI credits.
Yep.
But for what it can do, it's priceless.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we are in that era of the outcomes really what's important, not what it costs to develop it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you describing that, and I hope you have a lot of success with it. Sounds like it's a great tool, and when it's available, I'll take a look at it as well.
Yeah, I'll send the link over for sure.
Yeah, that's cool, and we'll make sure it's whatever you want's in the show notes for
awesome.
for people who are listening. Let's see. Well, good luck with the soccer seasons coming up. I appreciate that. I played the beautiful game as long as I could until my body gave out.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's it.
Well, good, Depesh. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll have all your contact information if people want to get in touch with you and have a conversation.
Amazing. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah, I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, we ended up talking a lot about vibe coding and about using tools like Lovable and Replit, and I think it's a worthy conversation that you look and start testing some of these tools, Base 44, Lovable, Replit, and get some experience either for the family recipes or for some work product that you have an extensive amount of knowledge about and want to share it, or something that you don't enjoy doing. I hope you found some value today, and I hope you take some time to discover AI tools that can help you win some time back or create something worthy for the marketplace. I also hope that you take the time to continue to upskill, and that you spend some of the time that you save from AI with your friends and family, or that you get outside into nature away from the screens. This is Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.